And part of the reason why the Steelers looked the way that they looked is because they're going against a potential Super Bowl winner, which the Steelers looked like when they were 10-3 and beating the Ravens in the process. But the Ravens have flipped the old switch, and that switch came after their bye week. Their bye week happened late. Their bye week happened in week 14. And after the Ravens lost to the Eagles at home, they have won 5 in a row, the exact opposite of the Steelers. The Steelers lost their last 5. The Ravens have won their last 5. And their defense has been lights out. Top 2 in many different categories since week 14. But the reason why the Ravens look the way they look is because they may have an argument here. There's an argument. They may have the 2 best offensive players in the NFL. And they certainly have the best quarterback, running back combination in the NFL, with all due respect to Jalen Hurts. Hey, Lamar Jackson's out of his skull. And you'd look at the AP voters who voted for the All-Pro list. They are the same voters who will vote for the MVP, and they made Lamar Jackson first-team All-Pro quarterback, which means it looks like he's going to be the MVP. And, you know, I could go on and on and on and on about how his stats this, his stats that from the regular season. But it was all about now. It's all about now. And when I say it was all about now, the was is Derrick Henry's signing. I know you hate me bringing it up, TJ, but it's the truth in terms of the reality of roster building and things of that nature. Ravens could have easily run it back. Same roster. They could have gone all in that regard, right? They could have gone all in, meaning we're running it back. We get beat by the Chiefs. Zay Flowers has that ball knocked out. We could have won that game. Zay Flowers leaping for the end zone. He gets in 99% out of 100 times. That's a 1 in 100 shot of having the ball knocked out. We could have gone all in.
He had that penalty.
Yeah. Could have gone all in. Let's run it back. We got the MVP quarterback. What do we need? What do we need anything else for? They signed Derrick Henry. And the reason why they signed Derrick Henry is for right now. And I found it fascinating that the leading ball carrier on the Ravens' opening drive was Lamar. Mm-hmm. And normally that's what you see. You see Lamar doing Lamar things with his legs as much as his arm. And they went and ran it with Lamar quite a bit on the opening drive. But without Zay Flowers, okay, Lamar runs it pretty much down the field and finds Rashad Bateman in the end zone. By the way, the Ravens are now 8-0, and Rashad Bateman catches a touchdown this year. And no Zay Flowers, he's out. Bateman scores a touchdown. Lamar's doing the running thing. But guess what they needed to do as well? While the Steelers were struggling, run it down their throat. And not just with Lamar. With Derrick friggin' Henry as well. And, you know, this combination is unlike anything we've seen. Because we haven't seen someone like Lamar, right?
No.
And now you add to the mix a 31-year-old who's running like a 21-year-old. And what Derrick Henry is doing is truly one of the most incredible performances I think I have ever seen. As a 31-year-old. And what he is doing things that we have only seen somebody named Jim Brown do. He tied Jim Brown for the most games with 150 or more rushing yards and 2 or more rushing touchdowns in NFL history. With his 186 yards, Fourth career playoff game with over 150 rush yards. That ties Terrell Davis's NFL record for most of all time. He's the only guy to have 150 or more rushing yards in the playoffs with two different franchises. But this is the one that's the difference. This is the stat that just says it all here. His 186 rushing yards are almost triple as many rush yards as any running back has had previously in a Lamar Jackson playoff start. The most rushing yards the Ravens have had in support of Lamar's running and passing. In Lamar's playoff history, in which he was 2-4, and everyone, well, you beat Tannehill. Congratulations, Mr. MVP. You beat C.J. Stroud in his first ever rookie road start. Congrats. 186 rushing yards are triple the number of most rushing yards he's ever received in support. Justice Hill had 66 yards rushing in that win over the Texans last year. You could add, and then Gus Edwards had 20 in the AFC Championship game. So that's what, 86, correct? 66 and 20 is 86?
Correct.
Derrick Henry had 186. 100 on top of the rushing yards in support. Not total, obviously, but just the top rusher. J.K. Dobbins, once upon a time, had 43 in a game. The divisional round 2018. Mark Ingram had 22. You know what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. They got Derrick Henry to fix it. And then when he just, these are the numbers. The intangibles, it's just, you don't want him. You don't want a piece of him. You don't want to. And then the mesh point game that we were talking about as soon as he signed, right? We're like, what's the mesh point game going to look like? You don't know who has it. And then Todd Monken comes up with this business of direct snapping it to Henry while Lamar is eye candy running behind Henry. So could Henry hand it off to Lamar? I think that's setting something up like that for Buffalo, maybe. Derrick Henry takes it right to the house, straight up the gut, smiling as he does it. Did you see that? It reminded Lamar Jackson of another fast machine smiling, whose name is Lightning McQueen. Did you hear this soundbite after the game?
No.
You haven't heard this?
No, but that's amazing.
Hit it.
It looked like a movie clip. Like, you know, when, like, I'm going to give Cars. You watch the movie Cars? You're a little bit too old to watch Cars, but anyway, for kids, I was a kid when I watched Kids. I was a kid when I watched Cars, that's all I'm saying. But, you know, when Lightning McQueen just flying, flashing past, and then it's like, that's how Derrick looked when he was running past, and all those guys just, it looked like a movie, bro. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'd rather be watching it than being on the opposite side of the ball. I know that. That guy's just a workhorse. That guy, like, I don't know. I can't find the words to say, man. Like, I believe everyone sees it. Like, I can just hand the ball off. 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, and I'm just chilling, you know. So now, when they're attacking him, then I go, and it's like, I'm fresh, you know, just making my job a lot easier. We just pick it back off of each other.
If Derrick Henry's Lightning McQueen, then which car are you?
No, I didn't say he was Lightning McQueen. I said it's like watching Lightning McQueen. Like, he just flashing past. I'm no car, man. I'm just chilling. I'm just watching the show, you know.
Yeah, he's like Toe Mater sitting back there, right? I mean, Derrick Henry, if you know, you know.
You don't want to be Chick Hicks. Not a good guy.
Okay, got it.
You know what I mean?
That's, by the way, the split does look like Lightning McQueen.
That's hilarious.
Well done,
said
Smith.
this when he signed.
Good job, Hoskins.
We saw this coming.
We sure did. We sure did. And now we can confirm life is a highway for the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, I'm going Rascal Flats on you. It's basically Lamar saying, if you're going my way, I want to drive it all night long.
All night long.
That's what the Ravens are doing right now. And then defensively, they're just beginning to really... that was the idea. Well, you're going all these track meets Russ is throwing for 400 yards, and Joe Burrow's throwing for a gajillion yards. And who are you going to stop? Well, they've stopped everybody. And in the first half, more than enough. I mean, that game was a wrap. We all saw it. There was a split moment, like maybe if the Steelers can do something here. Look out is the headline in terms of with the Ravens. And that game in Buffalo next week, I texted you guys as soon as that game hit. As soon as the Bills won, I'm like, you can make book. Ravens at Bills is going to finish up divisional round weekend.
What a perfect cap.
That is the finisher. 6:30 Eastern time kick. So there's that. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.
Để bắt đầu vào làm thì ở đây mình đã chuẩn bị những nguyên liệu và dụng cụ như sau. Về dụng cụ thì ở đây mình có những cái bút màu nước như thế này. Một cái thước kẻ. Một chiếc compa. Một cây bút chì. Kéo. Và keo dán. Keo dán mình sẽ sử dụng là keo nến nhé. Còn các bạn nào mà không có keo nến thì có thể sử dụng các cái loại hồ dán. Hoặc là các cái loại keo mà nó có thể dính được giấy là được nhé. Tiếp theo thì ở đây